Atlanta Hawks, 41-31 last year, the same record as the New York Knicks. And they signed Gorgie Jang. They traded for DeLon Wright, and I think that's a very underrated move, and drafted Jalen Johnson and your boy, Sharif Cooper. Mr. Coop, man. They re-signed John Collins. We all thought that was one of the biggest mysteries amongst this team last season. Lou Will, Solomon Hill are back, but they did lose Chris Dunn and Bruno Fernando and Tony Snell. Tony Snell, 50-50, 90, I think.
He barely played,
He was
bro.
in that
Hey, man,
category.
he still did it.
I don't even think he's qualified for the list because he didn't play enough.
When I look at the Hawks, I think this is a season that's going to be predicated on internal development.
Yep.
They didn't make much outside moves, but I think the biggest one they made that's going to be huge is getting DeLon Wright. They try to fill that backup point guard role with Chris Dunn. It didn't work out. Rajon Rondo was a flop with them. I think DeLon Wright is a great backup point guard, and he can play 1 through 3. He can play on the wings. He can just do so many things. He's a very versatile player, and I think that was a huge move. But Atlanta is hoping on leaps from DeAndre Hunter, Cam Reddish, Kevin Huerter, and Onyeka going into year 2. John Collins as well after getting that contract. You know, we want to see you do more. But with Nate McMillan, they were 26-12, and he has shown in the regular season that he's a hell of a coach. With the Pacers, took them to the playoffs multiple times. Now he leaves. They miss it. McMillan is a great coach, and I think Atlanta is a playoff team, no doubt about it. Where I see them finishing, I think the lowest is 6 and the highest is 4.
This is one of my locks for the playoffs. You know, them Brooklyn Bucks, I think they're locked because I think they have an identity. I think they've established who they are. They have their star players. Everybody fits around that star player. And like you said, internal development. You know, they didn't make many moves. I don't know how DeLon Wright's going to get minutes because Lou Will's still there. You know, Cam's coming off the bench. Kevin Huerter's coming off the bench. So it's going to be tough to get some minutes, you know, but nonetheless, if he gets in, he provides positive things for the team. So nonetheless, that's good. But like I said, internal development. You know, I think this team is banking on Onyeka, Cam, Hunter, Collins, Huerter. That's 5 young guys. Even Jalen Johnson. That's 6 young guys that they're planning on that they need to get better. You know, Clint's going to be who he is. We've established that. Trey, he still has room in his game to improve.
He can be much more efficient from 3.
Yep. And he can take better shots. You know, his shot selection, he can be much better at that. So I think.
But also, do you think this new foul rule will hurt him?
I think a little bit. I think he'll have to adjust. You know, he's one of those main components of it. He'll definitely have to adjust, but I think nonetheless he'll still be great at what he does. You know, he's still an elite playmaker. And, you know, this team missing DeAndre Hunter, who was on his course of making a big jump last year, was huge. I don't know if that's going to take him a step back, but that was huge for him. But this team is loaded. You know, this team has the same 9, 10 guys that they could roll out. And I think the ceiling for them is a 3rd seed. And, you know, yeah, let's get into it because, you know, you tried to throw the little jab that RJ Barrett, this, that mentality. No, that's not what was said in the article. I know people looked at it like that. What was said in the article, because I have the Athletic app and I pay for it. So I read the article.
Oh, trust me, I do too. But I didn't read the article.
Yeah, I read the article. What was said was Cam they talked about how Cam, he went back to his old town. He stayed there for the summer. He worked out. And he was training with his old trainers. What we saw from Cam the last 2 years is once he misses a shot or he makes a mistake, he puts his head down or he kind of like loses confidence. They wanted to instill that confidence. They said, look at your teammate RJ Barrett. When he was in college or he was at Duke or high school, even though he missed a shot, he'll still keep taking that shot. He had that confidence in him. He didn't care if he missed 10 shots, he was going to keep taking that shot. They said they wanted Cam to do that, be more like that, have that mentality. They didn't say have an RJ. That's not an RJ mentality. That's just a mentality for anybody. But they said they look at your teammate because they played together. That's what it was. It wasn't.
I'll be honest. Even still,
no, it wasn't like that.
No, it still
sounds.
It still sounds like, hey, look, I want you to be more like RJ. Adopt his mentality.
That's the strong.
That's the strong that's losing me.
But that's what he said, though.
He's still praising RJ Barrett.
No, he said, look at your teammate, RJ.
No, I never disputed that. You can praise your teammate, but don't make it seem like he's telling him to be like RJ. No, not at all. He's telling you. He's not telling you.
You're saying not.
No, he's telling you, look at the teammate you played with and look at how the confidence he has in his game. Have that confidence in your game.
There's a difference between saying, I'm telling you to be like him, or I'm telling you to be more like him. that more is a distinction in itself. And he said, I want you to be more like RJ Barrett. Don't lose confidence in these jump shots and missing these jump shots.
Okay. I hear you. I just don't want people to try to discord by saying, no, Cam, we need you to be like RJ. He's a different beast. He's a different
If we're talking play style, then I don't think that's what he was going for.
With the shot selection, he definitely was though.
In terms of what?
And that's RJ's mentality, having that confidence.
Yeah, that's a mentality that a lot of young guys don't have.
That's true. I mean, you can say it's a general mentality that some people have, but also, if I say, okay, Riv is a funny guy, just because other people are funny doesn't knock your mentality or your personality being funny. No. So RJ Barrett has that confidence. And Cam Reddish's trainers want him to have RJ's confidence.
Because it was very specific because he played 30 games with him. He watched, like, they played together.
So he watched them be better than him.
I guess, bro. I don't know how you're going to slice it into that, but
it's all right, bro. It's RJ's better than Cam at this point.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Who has more potential, though? We know who has more potential. It's Cam, easily.
I don't know, bro. Easily is crazy.
Easily.
Hard work beats talent when talent fails.
What did RJ bump?
1,000%.
What did he bump his point per game from last season to, the year
about
before?
Like 3, 4.
I was gonna say it's like
he's
but
better.
But give your
right
take
now.
on Atlanta.
So similar to Riv, I do believe that their ceiling is a 3 seed. I don't think that they necessarily needed to go out and spend money to improve the roster. I think that too, and I just think they realized they overachieved last season, and even in doing so, they beat the number 1 seed in Philadelphia. They handled the Knicks with ease, and Milwaukee, they gave a decent series. Sure, Milwaukee won that with relative ease, but they still took a game without Trae Young when Giannis was playing. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like they should think, man, we're not as good as these other guys. They're thinking we could bump with anyone right. Yeah, come on, you're Shaqtin' a fool. Anyways, they're thinking we could bump with anyone. We could legitimately beat anyone on any given night. That's the type of mentality that they probably went in with, and they have guys like Trae Young, who is a potential future top 10 player in this league, one of the best facilitators in the game, one of the best scorers in the game at his position. He's a special talent. You match that with Bogey. You match that with Horder, who I do believe is going to improve from last season to this season. Horder showed a lot last year, and I'm not saying that he's going to be, a superstar. I think he's going to be a very solid role player, and that's all you really need him to be. John Collins, bringing him back, that was huge. I kept preaching. You can't break that up what Trae Young and John Collins have, especially the way that John Collins performed come playoff time. They really had something nice going on, so I'm not necessarily thinking that they need to spend money. I do believe that this team has a great scheme already, has a good identity of being one of the better jump shooting teams in the NBA, have a solid defensive front court in Clint Capella and John Collins. They are confident in who they are, and that's all they need to be. Their floor for me would at lowest be the 6th seed. I do believe that the Hawks are going to be a premier team in the East, and it's going to be fun to watch them.
When looking at the Hawks, you mentioned it about John Collins. You can't split that up. I think you're right. It's good that they paid him. They couldn't pay anybody else. I mean, last offseason was their premier offseason. Getting Bogdanovich, getting Gallinari.
Yep.
Those were the difference makers, and even Rondo and Chris Dunn. We looked at the Hawks as a team that was going to make that jump, and that was in jeopardy until McMillan got there. McMillan really steered them in the right direction. Based on the talent and all these young guys, and hopefully they can develop, this is going to be one of the better teams in the Eastern Conference. But Trae Young, how much is that foul thing going to affect him? I don't know if it's going to affect him that much, but I think there's going to be something to be said there. You're going to definitely see that effect because Trae does foul bait a lot. I think more than any player in the NBA. You don't see that from Knicks players, definitely not. But yeah, the Hawks are going to be a good to great team. But like I mentioned before, if they face the Knicks in the playoffs, their season is going to be over.
And what makes you say that?
Just better.
Oh, you went from Alfred to Kemba, and you still don't have an answer for Trae Young.
I'll be honest, man. You guys are not better.
I think we are.
In what way? Just
Culture.
are.
He said culture.
Culture.
McMillan to Thibodeau is not that huge of a gap, if there even is one.
What?
I'm firm on that.
You lost me.
I'm firm on that. Why is that?
Thibodeau's like a top 5 coach in the NBA, bro.
Oh my God!
You gotta stop.
What does he want to have? That?
What is McMillan?
I agree.
He's
exactly.
just made his first ECF like 15 years later.
I'm with you wholeheartedly there. That being said, it's not like Nate McMillan didn't immediately come to Atlanta and completely
Thibodeau
change
immediately
them.
came to the Knicks and turned them into a 4th seed.
That's a great point. But
Wait, Drew,
when they met up, what happened?
What did Brad Stevens win with Boston?
They went to multiple ECFs.
Was he a top 5 coach?
I would say so.
But he didn't really win anything. Just went to the ECF.
Brad Stevens is acknowledged as one of the better head coaches in the league. You could have used a better, in my opinion. He probably is because defensive mindset that he brings to the team.
He's
for sure,
he's one of the most respected guys.
He has a ring too. You ain't even know that.
With Boston.
Yeah, you
back
didn't
in the day.
No, wait.
Oh wait.
He was assistant.
Oh, okay. Well,
and then went to Chicago first.
One coach of the year.
Mm-hmm.
That very first year. Don't disrespect him.
He's
don't disrespect.
Just not all. I'm sorry. I'm not.
He has 2 coach of the years. I just want you to know that.
Okay. All right. Fine. He can have all these accolades.
Hey, don't do what you think. Don't do that.
Dwayne Casey won coach of the year and got fired too. So it's not like it's.
That's a fair point. Dwayne Casey's a better coach than Nate McMillan.
Ooh, that's hot. I'm a fan of Nate McMillan. I
am too. I love Atlanta. I love their coach. I love what they're doing.
Listen, I'm not saying that what I said was there's not a huge gap. And listen, there really isn't. There's not that huge of a gap.
I don't know. You give Thibodeau this Atlanta team, this is probably the first seed in the NBA.
Ceiling 3rd. Nah.
I can't.
Ceiling 3rd for me.
For sure.
Floor 5. I don't see them locking out. I think they're a lock.
Yeah.